Hello, welcome in, welcome in. This the Rich Get Richard. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We're about to get this party started. We're streaming over all social media platforms, and it's a good day today. So we're gonna talk about different stuff, different money plays, different ways to make money, different ways on how you can get money, get access to money, get capital, raise capital, grow your capital, and all that kind of stuff like that. Like I said before, we're streaming live on multiple different websites or different platforms: Facebook in the house, YouTube in the house, Twitch in the house, Instagram, Kick, Twitch. But they be acting up sometimes, so it is what it is. What's up? I see you. Hey, Mr. Richard, I see you. What's going on? Welcome in, welcome in. Go ahead and ask your questions. So I always ask somebody on the, um, I always ask somebody, what subject do you want to talk about? And someone asked, um, buying a business versus buying real estate. And once you kind of understand um, the ins and out of both of them, then you can kind of understand what you want to get into. Thanks for sharing my experiences. I'm here for you, man. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started on that real quick. And then if y'all want to ask questions, the questions will come in, and I'll see if I can answer them. But I try to get to them as much as possible because there's a lot of people in here. I'm streaming over a lot of social media platforms, and it's just a lot to. It's a lot of comments at times. So if you wanted to get into, so let's talk about both of them, right? So let's talk about real estate first. There's multiple different ways you can get into real estate. Um, so real estate, one, it's easier to get into. I feel it's kind of easier to get into, and there's multiple ways you can do it. You can do techniques called bird dogging. You can do a technique called wholesaling. You can do buy your primary home. You can do buy an investment property. You can buy a fix and flip, meaning you buy it, you flip it, you put money into it, force the appreciation, sell it to someone else. Wholesaling means you find a distressed property, you get it under contract, and you assign the contract to an investor. Bird dogging means you find properties for investors. Then you have syndication. Syndication is when you pull money together for other people, and then you go out and buy property. So if you got 50,000, you got 5,000, you got 20,000, you got 70,000, you got 100,000. You pool all those people money together, and you go out and buy property, and then that property is going to bring you in profits from the rent that it generates, and then however much money they put in, you divvy that money up, and then you take a fee on top. Hey, I'm a manager of this, and I want 5% or 3%, but you can get an acquisition fee, you get a fee for buying it, you get a disposition fee for selling it. You can put up your own money so you can get a portion of the profits, and then you get a management fee if you want to do it like that. So then you have total. I mean, and then you can do bandit signs. You can do uh, estate sales, lease options, um, tax deeds. I mean, there's multiple different ways you can get into real estate. So that's why, and I tell people too, if you want to get into real estate, almost just pick your poison, right? Pick something and master it. And once you kind of master that technique in real estate, then you could almost make a lot of money in it, and then you can kind of venture out and do other stuff if you want to do it that way. If you want to be a professional bird dogger, which I know that people out there, that's all they do is go out and find properties for people. If you're an investor and you want to find a property in Detroit, you want to find a property in um, Texas, you want to find a property in Florida, all I do is I go out there and find you properties. And then what I'll do too is, if you want to, you can teach people the ins and out of that area, because you'll be surprised how many people want to invest in certain areas. So, like say for example, I'm not in Arizona, but if you was like a good bird dog guy or a guy that goes out there and find properties for people, I say, hey man, I want to buy some properties out there. Cool. You know the best places to look? No. Okay. Well, I offer. Let's hop on a call. I charge $99. Let's hop on a Zoom. It's like a half an hour. Make some slides on areas that he or she can buy, and charge them $100 just to teach them the ins and outs of the area. That costs no money. Make a slideshow. Have a map of the best areas to buy and sell in that area, and you will look up crime rates for them. You will look up eviction rate. You will look up rent rates, and you can do all this for free, and then charge somebody $100 to teach them how to invest, what the best areas to invest in that area. Charge them $100, $200, $500, $1,000, $5,000. Who cares? Whatever you want. So there's multiple different ways on investing in real estate, buying real estate, and getting into real estate. Okay, so now you have the business aspect of it. Buying a business takes a little more to know the ins and outs of it. One, you can get into real estate without no credit. Just like that bird dog technique, that requires no credit. You don't need it. However, if you bought a business, more than likely you're gonna need good credit. Okay, you're gonna need some type of credibility that you can pay back $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, $1 million business loan. Okay, then you will need to know how to read certain documents. So when you buy a business, there's documents that come with that business, and if you have no clue what you're looking at, you need to learn those type of things, right? P&L, year to date, tax return, and an assortment of things, right? So there's multiple different things you can look at before you buy a business, and then you need a down payment. You can get into real estate with little to no money down, but it's a little harder to get into a business with no money down. So, one, you need to figure out what kind of business you want. When you get into real estate, a house is just a house, 4 walls and a roof for the most part, and then location. With business, you got to say, okay, do I want a Dunkin' Donuts? Do I want a tire shop? Do I want a roofing company? Do I want a plumbing company? There's multiple different things that you have to want to factor in before you even start. Because there's some industries that I'll never touch, and there's some industries that are more easier to run than others, So, but once you get through all that stuff, the profit margins on businesses way exceed real estate. Like, I'll give you 2 examples. Let's say there's a house for $1 million. I'll say 500,000. Let's say there's a house for 500,000, and let's say there's a business for 500,000. You buy that house for 500,000, and you rent it out. Let's say that rent in that area for a $500,000 house is $3,000. Your property taxes, interest, and insurance, and all kind of stuff like that is probably $2,500. I'll say $2,300 just to make, I'll say $2,500 just to make this a little easier. $2,500 in payments. You make $3,000 a month in rent. That's $500 profit a month. Which $500 a month times 12 months, that's $6,000 a year. Yay, $6,000. Okay. Now I bought the same $500,000 business, and I'm looking for selling discretionary earnings or net to the owner of, we'll say, 200 grand. Right? You got that $500,000 business. You're gonna have to put 10% down. That's 50 grand. You buy it. It produces $200,000 to you. You pay yourself back the down payment. So 200 minus 50, you pay your down payment back. So now you're still making 150,000. Your payment on a business of $450,000 left is about $50,000 a year. So you still making $150,000 a year. So $100,000, $150,000 minus your 50, you're going to be profiting somewhere in the range of 95 to 105 a year. So I'll, round it to the middle and I'll say $100,000. So you buy a $500,000 house, you'll make $600 a year in profit. You buy a business, year one, you're going to be making about $100,000 a year. Year two, you don't have to pay back your down payment. You're going to be making about $150,000 a year. So people say, well, why would anybody buy real estate? Real estate has another factor in that I really didn't talk about, and that is appreciation. A $500,000 business 10 years from now is still going to be worth $500,000. A $500,000 house is probably going to be worth, in 10 years from now, going to be worth about $700,000. So now your property is going to be worth $200,000 more. So do you want equity and value and pay down, or do you just want cash flow that pays you, give you a check every month? Some people say, I'll take the $6,000 and I'll get the appreciation, I get the tax benefit. Some people say, I want the cash flow. Give me the $100,000 to $150,000 every year and I can quit my damn job, right? One property, you're not going to quit your job. One business, you don't have to work. So it depends. Now you can get into like 20 properties, then you don't have to work. But one business, you don't have to work. So a lot of people always weigh those pros and cons. I think that's just something that you need to decide. If you want to learn more about this process, I have a free webinar, a free training class called Be Your Own Boss. Click the link in the bio and come to the free class. It's Wednesday, 9 p.m. And then we weigh the pros and cons, right? And in our discussion class, we always talk about which one would you rather have, and I talk about the benefits of both, which I think you should have both. Because say if you did buy a business and you are making $100,000 to $150,000 a year and you only need $60,000 to live, now you have an excess of what, $80,000, $90,000 a year. Well, what you gonna do with that money? You need to start investing in other stuff. You can't just go out and ball out and live your best life. No, that ain't the game. The game is to get as much assets as fast as you can that produces you money. A lot of people I'll mentor or I'll talk to, they'll get a business and they're like, yo, man, I'm chilling. I'm like, no, you keep your foot on the gas. You keep going until you make so much money that it would almost be comical for you not to stop working. Right. And that's where I kind of was at. I mean, I was making decent money, really good money for years. And then one day I just sat back and I said, okay, I don't need to work no more. All right. And that's how you need to be. You can't just be like, I got one business. Let me try to live off this and coast off this. No, let's get 4 or 5 businesses. And then when you're bringing in, $100K a month, you take the $100K. Now you just go out and buy single family duplex, triplexes, quadplexes, apartment complex, apartments, trailer parks, mobile home parks, all that kind of stuff. You start buying that stuff, and then that money's going to start making you money. And then when that money comes in, then you start investing in ETFs, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, whatever. And then that money will start paying you dividend, and that'll start to make you money. And then you start setting up like trust for your kids and your grandkids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids. And now you're sitting on stockpiles of investments in the stock market, stockpiles of real estate, stockpiles of businesses, and they all feed each other. All 4 of them, which I call that pretty much the 4 horsemen. That's the process that I pretty much teach. That's the process that I pretty much will die on a hill on for the rest of my life. It's pretty much been proven throughout time to work. Someone said, is this your first stream? No, man, thank you for following. I see somebody on Twitch. I always try to stream. I just come on here and talk for, an hour and some change, and then I'll get off. One thing about social media, I don't know if you ever really get into like hardcore streaming. Some streaming platforms don't like you to exceed 2 hours. It's almost like it's not good for the metric. I don't know. So I always try to do at least up to 2 hours. I probably want to do 2 hours today, but yeah. But that's a good question. Welcome in, Twitch. I don't see how people get so many followers on Twitch. I don't know how they do it. I guess they just stay live all day long. I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I got like 6 followers on there. It seems like everybody on there just want to talk about Kai and Speed or whoever the hell is on there. Someone said, "What's some good stocks to invest in?" So, my guy, you have multiple different options when it comes to individual stocks. You have obviously individual stocks, then you have collection of stocks, which are mutual funds, and then you have ETFs, then you have index funds, and then if you want to get into crypto and stuff like that, you can get into that too. But it all, there's tons of stocks that do good. I tell people who don't want, it's either you can sit back and try to watch it and see how it does, or you can just put your money into something and set it and forget it. If you want to set it and forget it, mutual funds, ETFs, and index funds is the way to go. If you do want to watch it, there's just search. I would do the top stocks in the S&P 500. The top, let me see, the top probably 20 stocks. You know that the top 10 stocks in the nation make up 40% of the stocks. I want you to understand that, what I'm saying. I'm going to say it again. The top 10 stocks in the nation makes up 40% of the holdings of the nation. Meaning, the Big 10 makes up 40% of the stock market. So if 40% of the stock market is 10 stocks, if these multi-millionaires and billionaires keep their money in it, if it's good for them, it's good for you. And a lot of people always say, "Yo, what should I invest in?" No, this ain't what I think. Don't overthink this. Don't make it emotional. Where's the money? Follow the money. If 40% of all the wealth in the stock market is in 10 stocks, put your money there. And since we got a lot of people in here, go ahead and start naming what 10 companies you think they're in. Okay? What are the top 10 stocks bought and sold that makes up 40% of all the stocks in America? What are the top 10 stocks in America that's being bought and sold in America today? Crack, 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 oh, da, 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 oh. Baby, grind on me. Someone said Apple. Someone said Amazon. Someone said Microsoft. Someone said NVIDIA. Someone said Apple, Google, BlackRock. Let's see what we got. Someone said Amazon, Apple, Google, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Meta, Berkshire Hathaway. You on the right track, brother. You are on the right track. You probably Googled it, but you are on the right track. But the top, for those who just coming in, I see people popping in. So I see you on YouTube, Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon. So like I heard Amazon multiple times, I heard Apple multiple times, I heard Facebook multiple times, I heard NVIDIA multiple times, I heard Meta, Berkshire Hathaway multiple times. If y'all already know the answers to the test, y'all should be getting 100%. First of all, but I will start naming some of these off. So number 10, is a company called Bradcom. Yeah, Bradcom. Bradcom is, off the top of my head, I think it's a pharmaceutical company, but I'll look it up. I think it's a pharmaceutical company. Or a telecommunication company. I can tell you in 5 seconds. It's an IT company. Cool. IT. Bradshaw Hathaway. Sorry. Bradcom is a IT company. Number 9 is Alphabet. Alphabet C. Alphabet C. So for those who don't know, Alphabet is so big. Alphabet is Google. Alphabet is so big they break it up. So it's not really. So Google is so big they break it up into 3 different companies. You have Alphabet A, you have Alphabet C, B, and the Alphabet C. Meta is so big it's broken up to 2 companies too. It's called Meta A and Meta B. Bradshaw Hathaway is so big they broke it up into 2 companies, Bradshaw Hathaway A and Bradshaw Hathaway B. And I'll break that down for you for those who don't know. So Google is so big they break it up into 3 different companies, and they call it Alphabet. Alphabet A, B, and C. Alphabet A is search engine optimization. So that means that when you go and search up restaurant near me, or Chinese place near me, or clothing store near me, when that company is at the top of the list, because when you go Google something or search something, the first 5 companies are the only ones you're going to even pay attention to. Like if I Google Chinese restaurant near me, it's pretty much the first 3 to 5 that I see. Okay? And the same thing can be said with anything else that you Google. So to be on the top 3 or the top 5, people pay to be there. People pay a lot of money to be there. So for you to rank on Google, you generally have to pay the price. That is considered income for Google. That whole model, Google search optimization, is its own company. Okay? So when you search something on Google, it's its own company. That's how much money that shit makes. And it makes a lot. So that is Alphabet A. Alphabet B, it's research and development. It doesn't even take a profit. It doesn't even make money. They take money from A and C to fund B. Alphabet C is ad spend. So YouTube, it's its own thing. So when people run ads on YouTube or people watch YouTube and they pay, all these big YouTubers all this money, that it's its own company. That is Alphabet or Google C. So when we're talking about the top 10 companies in the world, Alphabet or Google is on there twice. It ranks 6th, 1, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's ranked 6th and 9th. Because if Google was one company, it would blow all that shit out of the water. That lets you know how big Google is. So when people tell me, yo man, what should you invest in? If a company is so big that it's 6th and 9th on the biggest companies on the world, and they had to break it up because it was so big and making so much money, then you might want to look at it, right? And Google ain't going nowhere. YouTube and Baby Shark ain't going nowhere. Googling something, it's almost an adjective. It is an adjective. it's damn near a verb. Google it. Google me. That's how big it is. It ain't going nowhere. No time soon, at least. So what I want you to understand when I say this is Google is 9th. Next is Bradshaw Hathaway. B. Remember, A and B. A, research and development. B is the everything that they do, insurance and all that kind of stuff. They do insurance and train. They have a train company and stuff like that too, but I'm not gonna get into it. Number 7, Tesla. Number 7 on the biggest companies in the world. Tesla, this is how big Tesla is. Tesla wasn't even on the top 500 list about 5 years ago. Now it's 7. It's crazy how that works. Now it's 7. All right. Next one is number 6, Google or Alphabet A. Right. We already talked about that. I kind of broke that down. Facebook or Meta is 5. Facebook, Meta, A, which is ads. They run ads on Facebook and they sell your information to whoever they want to sell it to. That's how they make their money. And then Meta B is research and development, trying to figure out how to, get more money out of people. Number 4 is Amazon, which we all know that. Number 3 is Microsoft, Windows, Excel, Microsoft Word, all of that. And number 2 on the list of the top 10 companies in America that makes up 40% of all the stock market is a company that no one really talks about, and y'all really need to get on the ball. Yeah, I've been hitting the gym. Yeah, I lost a lot of weight. I'm down like 30, 40 pounds or something. I'm down a lot. Thanks for noticing though. It's a company called NVIDIA. Now, I try not to push people to certain stocks. I try not to tell people what to do with their money, right? In detail, right? I kind of give you the information and you go ahead and do whatever you want. But NVIDIA is the hottest thing since sliced bread. Now, I'm not going to tell you to go out and invest your money in the stock market, because don't come to me and say, Mr. Rich told me to buy this and I lost my money. But I put it like this. NVIDIA makes microchips and processors for majority of all the computers in the world. When you move your mouse around and your computer comes on, look at the load screen. It's something on there that says NVIDIA. They make processors for video games. They make processors for computers. They run the world Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, Grand Theft Auto. Now think about this. The processors that they use in these open world games, it's run through NVIDIA. Someone said 70% of all employees of NVIDIA who started out with them originally are multimillionaires. This stuff is not going anywhere. You've never even heard of this company. And it's number 2 on the list of biggest companies in America. Number 2, never even heard of it. It's everywhere. It's in your cell phone. It's in your computer, right? Like Apple sells the phones. Dell sells the computers. The computer chips that goes into all of that stuff is ran by this company. It's NVIDIA. Just throwing it out there. I'm not saying, I'll put it like this. If I teleported myself 50 years in the future and the Terminator was running around shooting people with lasers, and I smashed his head open with a brick, and I pulled the microchip out of his head, I would bet my last dollar it said NVIDIA on it. That's where I think, that's how big that company is going to be. Okay? If you go to the future 50 years from now and you see a robot and you smash his head open, it was talking to you. Hello, sir. Facial recognition. How you doing, Mr. John? Hope your day is well. Smash his head open. Look at the microchip in his head. $5 to say NVIDIA. My last dollar to say NVIDIA on it. I'm not going to put that much emphasis on it. I'm just letting you know that that company is huge. And you might want to get some skin in the game. I can't tell you to, you might want to. And the last but not least is, you named it, Mr. $2 trillion valuation. And it is Apple. My Apple stock that I bought in 2015 is up 6,000%. I want you to think about what I'm just saying, man. I bought Apple stock about 11 years ago. I'm up 6,000%. And the only reason I bought it is because I was watching TV and they did an experiment. What they did is they put cell phone users in a room. They put a Samsung, what all the different phones that was out there, and they put them in a room. And then they came and brought 3 different users of Apple, and they set them across from each other. And the 3 people with Apples would like play on their phone, and they would talk about how cool it was. Man, I got the latest and greatest Apple iPhone. I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that. And they would just look at the person in front of them. And it was just like, they wouldn't even say anything. They would just look at their phone and then just keep talking about their phone. And the person who didn't have an iPhone was so subconscious or insecure about their phone, they literally put it up. They didn't want their phone to be out. They didn't want their phone to be seen in front of other people. When a market or an ideal of something, an inferior product, can hypnotize people to think that that product is the best thing in the world, they're not going anywhere. Just like when I said I said earlier that my computer was acting up, and someone said get an Apple. People are brainwashed when it comes to this product. It's almost the equivalent of Jordans. Almost, right? People love the ideal of Michael Jordan so much that they will wear Jordans for the rest of their damn life. They will wait in line. I've seen people waiting in line to buy Jordans who are 50 years old. You are a grown adult waiting in line to buy a pair of shoes for a person who does not give a shit about you, supporting them, and you will never meet them. But the idea behind the latest, the greatest, the first ones to have something, it's a metric that you cannot judge. And if people are willing to do that, people are willing to wait on the street for days to get a product, I'm with it. You know, you own the phone, I own the stock. You own the shoe, I own the stock. You own the car, Tesla, I own the stock. And you think that you are cooler for owning the product. I think I'm cooler for owning the stock. And I'm not trying to belittle you, and I'm not trying to make fun of you, and I'm not trying to, hate. It's just the reality of the situation. 5 years from now, them Jordans ain't gonna be worth crap. 5 years from now, your Tesla is gonna be depreciated. 5 years from now, you probably won't even have that same iPhone. 5 years from now, my Tesla stock then doubled, my Apple stock then doubled, and my Nike stock then doubled. Now, who winning now? Now you just gotta go back and buy more product. You gotta go back out there and buy a new Tesla. You gotta go back out there and buy a new phone. You gotta go back out there and buy some new Jordans. And you know what I do? Makes me more money. And then I'll buy me a new house. Thanks. It's your money. Shit. But it is what it is. So, wow, there's a lot of people on here. So, let's get to some preguntas, questions. Rapid fire, man. Just shoot the questions away. I see you, Instagram. I see you, Facebook. I see you, YouTube. I see you, TikTok. So whatever questions y'all got, let's get to them. Someone said assets over liabilities. Always. Always. Like, I try not to buy depreciating assets. I try not to, but I'm almost to the point where I've done so well in my life that I can almost start to like do things that I've always ostracized for years. Right? I hated car payments. I hate cars in general. You really don't need them, right? You mean you need them, but you don't need to be like the latest and greatest. I need a 2025, 26, 27. Get you a little 10-year-old indestructible box made in Japan, and that thing will get you everywhere for the rest of your life. I think the average Honda lasts 200,000 miles. 200,000? But I guess you can't be the king of the block in a Honda, right? I can't be cool in a Honda. If that's your objective, is to be cool, then yeah, I'd rather be rich. I'd rather be rich and uncool than the coolest person at my job. I'd rather be rich and unemployed than cool and employed. I mean, shit. Stop it when I'm lying. I'd rather be rich at home than cool at my job. Maybe I'm tripping. Back in the day, I used to ask people that all the time. I said, I want y'all to do this scenario in your head too. And I said, if I gave you $100,000 cash, however, for 1 year's time, you could not dress up. Like, you couldn't wear like nice clothes. You have to wear like old dirty sweatpants or pajama pants or t-shirts. I don't care if it's a wedding. I don't care if it's a funeral. I don't care if it's a party. I don't care. You have to wear attire that doesn't look pleasing to the American. Or I will give you the $100,000, but you only can spend it on clothes, fashion, Louis, Gucci, Fendi, Prada, Nike, whatever. What would you do? I want you to really think about that, because it makes you think of what's really valuable to you. Do you want to look like you have it, or do you just want to have it? And over that year's time, a lot of people say, oh, that's easy, I can do that, that ain't hard, I can do that. But could you really? Could you wear busted up dirty jeans for a year? I mean, as long as your body's clean. Could you not wear a newer shirt? Could you not go shopping for a year for clothes? Could you not wear the latest and greatest in shoes? It's once you understand that there is power in presentation, but there's just as much power in the having the money and not being able to show it. You'll meet a lot of rich people. If you started like really getting into this money thing, you'll meet a lot of wealthy and rich people, and none of them will show their wealth. And a lot of times when I meet people and I see, oh, you got a Hermes belt, you got the Gucci on, you got the Louis, you got the Dolce and Gabbana. As soon as I see them, I already know. Unless they have unless they're bringing in some serious dough, I can already tell. I mean, you can put $10,000, $15,000 down on a Lambo. You can put $15,000, $20,000 down. Hell, you can put $5,000 down on a Rolls Royce and make $3,000 payments. You can't fake that stuff. I mean, you can fake that stuff. But when you go to people's houses with Lambos and they live in regular houses, or they have an Escalade, or they have a G-Wagon and they have regular houses, you know where the money's going. Or you see people in the nicest clothes in an apartment, you know. I always tell people, if I could turn your house upside down, if I turn everything in your house upside down and put it in one big pile in your driveway, and if everything in that pile is more money than what you have in your bank account, you are messing up in life. I want you to really think about that. If you don't listen to shit I say the whole time I'm on here, just listen to that. If I took everything in your house, okay, everything in your house, and put it in one big ass pile, a pile of stuff, clothes, TVs, video games, shoes, stuff. It's just things. Big old pile. Put it in the driveway. Throw your car in there too. A big old pile of stuff. If I add up all that stuff that's in that driveway, and I say, show me your bank account. If it's more, if that value of that crap in that damn pile is more than what you got in your bank account, you are seriously messing up in life, people. Right? And I'm not trying to belittle you, and I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm not trying to ostracize or criticize you. You are messing up in life. Your life revolves around consumption. You're just buying shit that gives you really no true value, and you're just collecting stuff to essentially or inevitably one day be piled in the middle of the damn driveway and give you no value. Now, this is where it gets good too. Let's say you did add up all that stuff. Let's say you took your couch, your TV, your radio, your shoes, your clothes, your purses, your watches, all of that shit, right? And you went and added it up in the driveway, right? Let's put it at $50,000. Could you sell all of that shit right now for $50,000? Could you sell your TV for $50,000? Let's say your TV, you bought it for $500. Could you sell your TV right now for $500? I'll wait. Those Michael Jordans you wait fucking 3 hours in line for, you paid $400 for it. Could you probably sell them for $400? That Gucci belt, that Louis Vuitton shirt, that Prada bag, you paid $2,000 for it. Could you sell it right now for $2,000? You don't have to answer. We all know the answer. That couch from Ashley's Furniture that you spent $4,000 on, could you go sell it right now for $4,000? I'm listening. There's only a handful of things that you can buy that's a consumer product and it'd be worth what you paid for it. It's a handful. Your computer monitor. Fuck, the cell phone you're probably watching this on. You probably paid $1,000 for it. You couldn't get $600 from a crackhead right now for that shit. Watches is one of them, right? A good watch you can always sell for about what you paid for it, right? But that's probably it. And some collectibles, right? Like say if you into like baseball cards or comic books, maybe some of that stuff you might break even. You might even lose a little bit, but for the most part, the majority of stuff, I want you to think about that every time you go and slide that fucking credit card or slide that debit card. Man, in 3 months, will I still want this shit? Or in 3 months, will this still be providing me value? Probably not. A lot of shit in people's houses don't do anything. It's just there. It's just there. You don't need all that shit. You know? Especially if you don't got it. Like if you bringing in $500,000 a year, be my guest. You bringing in $200,000 a year, from a business or real estate, be my fucking guest. What's up, man? I see you. Yeah, I'll get to you. I'm on live. Yeah, so I want you to think about that. You're spending all the money. So let me get this straight. You go to work probably for close to 10 hours a day, probably close to 11 hours a day. So you wake up, half an hour to get ready, then an hour to get to work, then 8-hour shift plus an hour break. So that's 9 hours. Then an hour to get home because traffic always works when you get home. So you spend 11 hours a day to go buy a whole bunch of shit in your house that don't give you value, that's worth half of what you pay for it, if not less, just to tell people you have it. That's the game, people. That's your life. That's what you here for. That's what you go work 11 hours. You wake up out of your sleep to get ready to go drive, to do a job that you fucking hate, work with people that you don't like, and listen to a boss who don't know what the hell he's talking about. To fight traffic again for 11 hours out of your 16 hours a day you're awake, just to buy a whole bunch of shit that ain't worth what you pay for it. I figured it out, people. I'm writing a book on this. I figured it out. That's the game. And then one day, if you in your apartment or whatever, and then you can't pay the bills, that you lost your job, boom. Can't pay your rent, they throw you out your apartment or whatever, throw you out your house. And they're going to take all that shit in the pile that I was just talking about. That TV, that ain't worth what you paid for it. That couch, what you ain't paid for it. What ain't what you worth it. It ain't worth what you paid for it. Them clothes, that ain't worth it. Them shoes, that depreciated. Those hats, that whatever that you bought is going to be sitting in a pile on the curb. And you couldn't sell, let's say you have $30,000 worth of shit. You couldn't sell that shit for $5,000 cash. I could come to your house right now. Let's say you say, yo, man, how much would you sell everything in your house for? Well, I paid about $30,000 for it. Cool, I'll give you $3,000 now. It's probably worth about 90% of what you paid for, about 10% of what you paid for it. Right? But let's say you start buying some real assets. Say you took your check and you bought a house. You paid $50,000 for the house. How much that house gonna be worth in 5 years from now? You bought a business. You bought a business for $100,000. Let's say in 5 years it's doing the same numbers it's still doing. How much that business worth now? I just named the top 10 stocks: Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Alphabet C, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, Broadcom. You bought any one of those stocks. Those top 10 stocks make up 40% of the stock market. You bought any of those stocks. 5 years from now, what are they worth? I bet damn sure it ain't gonna be 90% of what you paid for it. You got the game wrong, people. Y'all are hustling backwards. You don't work 11 hours of your fucking life a day to buy a whole bunch of shit that ain't worth shit. You go work 11 hours a day to buy shit that makes you money so you don't have to fucking work that job. Time is the game, not your TV, not Monday Night Football, not my Amazon packages, not my couch, not my bed, not this watch, not this hat, not this chair, not this table behind me. This ain't the fucking game. The game is to buy shit that makes you money with the money you went out to work for. You go out, you spend money, that you earned from a job and buy shit that makes you money while you're sleeping. And today, you might make $5, $3. Tomorrow, $6. Day after that, $7. But you keep it up. You keep it up. You bought $100 stock in those companies. It might make you $2 today. It might make you $4 tomorrow. It might make you $6 the day after that. And it might just keep on a little by little. But you'll look back. You bought one house here. You bought a little small business here. You bought some stocks here. And one day you'll look back and you're like, damn, I remember when I was making $4 a day on this damn stock. I remember I was making $3 for a week on this one stock. I remember my rental property was making me $400 a month. Then I just kept buying more property. I remember when I bought my first business, it was making me $3,000 a month. I saved that money because now I understand that buying junk ain't it. So I saved that money. I saved the money coming in from the stocks. I saved the money coming in from the business. I saved the money coming in from real estate, and I bought more real estate. I bought more businesses and bigger businesses, and then I bought more investments. And then one day you'll just look back on it and you're like, damn, my Apple stock made 7,000%. That's crazy. But I don't even care about what my stocks are doing because I'm making money because I kept buying property. I'm making more money because I kept buying businesses. So once you understand that a lot of the stuff that you're doing this is controlled by you. It all starts with your mindset. It all starts with what you are doing to get ahead. Thank you for the follow on Instagram. I see you. You have to start looking at your money as the tool, not as a means to live. You can't look at it like that. You don't work to live. You work to produce you income to buy your time back, because time is the game. And I tell you what, if you can do this for the 5 hours that you're awake outside of work, if you can start side hustles, you can start investing here and there, start getting into real estate, start getting into business ownerships. If you can do that in the 5 hours a day and you start making good money, once you do it enough to make enough money than your job, we can kick the job goodbye. And now, instead of 5 hours a day, now I got 16 hours. Now, if you was making enough money to quit your job on 5 hours a day, imagine what you can do with your whole day. Your whole day is devoted to making money now. All right, and everybody who know me, I was in the United States military for 22 years damn near. I was sleeping probably 3 or 4 hours a night. I got up at 4 in the morning. I would go and drive an hour to get to work, do my 9 hours, sometimes 12 hours. I'll drive an hour back home. And then as soon as I got in the door, from 4 to like 1 in the morning, I'm working on buying real estate. I'm working on buying businesses. I'm working on learning more about investments, with some good stocks to buy in. I'm doing my side hustles. I'm going out here and flipping TVs, couch flipping, whatever I needed to do to make extra money. Because when that money came in, I didn't go out and buy grills. I didn't go out there and buy necklaces. I didn't buy Hellcats. I just took that money and I went and put it in more money. And then one day I just sat back and I said, well, shit, I'll make more money doing this side hustle stuff and businesses and real estate than I do at my military job. So I got out the military. And now I had all of that time to make money. And then the first month, this is what's crazy. I was probably doing 50, 60, $70,000 a month while in the military. When I got out the military, instead of me spending 6 hours a day, I had 18 hours a day. My income damn near quadrupled. It was astronomical because I had all day. I had all day to devote towards making this money. And if you have discipline, you have a little bit of drive, and you have some want, and this stuff is doable, people. Anybody on here listen to me, all of this shit is doable. But you got to want to learn the processes, you got to want to commit, and you can't slack off. Okay? You can't slack off. All right. So let's get to some questions. I got on the rant. I apologize. But if you want to learn more about these processes, I do have a free class. It's on Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. It's called Be Your Own Boss. Be there or beware. Ha 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 ha. But yeah, we talk about and no slacking. Yeah, no slacking. We talk about buying businesses. We talk about buying real estate. We talk about investing. We talk about credit. We talk about business credit. We talk about business credit. We talk about hybrid credit lending, credit stacking. Man, we talk about a lot. But yeah, just come check it out if you're interested. If you're not, it's all good. So somebody said, would you buy a franchise or a non-franchise business first? I like the way you asked that question. Someone said, would you buy a franchise or a non-franchise business first? So a franchise, so you got to take consideration. Franchise businesses are they're like done for you. Okay. So it's like, okay. So I'm gonna have a subcategory of a subcategory because I'm gonna talk about non-franchises, then I'm gonna talk about franchises like a little more in depth. So a non-franchise tag, for anybody who don't know what a franchise is, a franchise means that you are buying into a system that's already in place. So majority of restaurants, let's say Subway has a franchise tag. That means that you buy a Subway, that means you already have the systems, the teams, you have all of that stuff in place, right? The attorneys, they do ads for you. They run $5 foot-long commercials and all that kind of stuff like that. But you pay them a royalty, right? Royalties can range anywhere from 4% up to 10%. Some businesses. So everything you bring in, let's say if your Subway brings in $1 million, you owe them $100,000. So if it's 10%. So some people don't like franchises because they don't want to pay a royalty fee. But, the royalty fee is for, like I said, ads. It comes with support. It comes with everything that you need. And then you get the community too. So let's say every Monday, Subway franchisees meet and they have a Zoom class and then they talk about what it's like running the Subway and all the different ins and outs that everybody's facing. Some people need that support. And if you feel like you need that support, it's good for you. And then they will have parties and stuff like that every quarter and stuff like that. So they'll have a get together. Oh, there's a get together every quarter in Phoenix, and then we're gonna go to Las Vegas. Then we're gonna go to Orlando. Then we're gonna go to New York, and then you can meet a whole bunch of different franchise owners. You can meet the CEO. You can meet the vice president. You can meet all these different people that you see on these Zooms, and you can network with other franchises and all that kind of stuff like that. So some people like that support. Some people need that support. And it really just depends on what you want to do. Some people don't want to pay the $100,000 or 10% or 5% or 4%, whatever it is, royalty fee. But with that royalty fee comes a lot of support. It should come with a lot of support. If you have a franchise, some franchises don't give you shit. And I'm not an advocate of those. I would look into, if you wanted to get into franchises, one, I would not build a franchise. Like, hey, you pay your franchise fee of 10 grand entry, and then here's a loan. You go out there and build you a restaurant, and then you start collecting money. Fuck that. No, I'm not trying to do a build out. That shit takes like a year and a half. You can spend $300,000 to $500,000 on that. But if I was to do a franchise, I would do something that already exists. It already has a store. It already has a location. I'm just taking over the ownership from someone else, and you just got to reach out to the franchisee, the franchise, whoever the franchise is, and you got to get approved. Which, how hard is that? It's like a job interview. If you can hold a vernacular for more than 5 minutes, you can pass. Can't be that hard, right? All right. Someone said, what platform is it hosted on? I have a time available. I need direct on what to do. Yeah, it's on, I don't even remember the platform, but I think it's an event, web event, something like that. But click the link in the bio. I think the guy who asked is on Instagram. Go to the bio, click, and it'll say be your own boss. Just sign up there. I think it's like your name, your email, and your phone number, right? And I don't sell your information. I don't do any of that crap. So I don't do any of that crap. Someone said, what about car washes? Okay, cool. Car washes is good. But there's 3 different types of car washes. If you want to get into car washes, there's self-wash, like the quarter ones, and then you have the drive-through ones, and then you got mobile detailing. Mobile detailing means that you go to someone's house and you clean their car. That's on the rise, but it can be a little pricey. If the drive-through ones is one everybody wants, you drive through and then you vacuum your car out yourself, you charge $10, $15 a person. A lot of the bigger companies are sucking all them up, but you still can make money on the quarter ones too. Like you go and you put your quarters in and you hand brush yourself. So it really depends. It's easier to get into mobile detailing and the quarter ones. The bigger ones are kind of saturated from the bigger companies. I think whenever hard times hit for people, if there's a recession coming up anytime soon or ever, I think that a lot of people gravitate away from the drive-through $10, $15 one and just go do the ones themselves for $5. But car washes are going to be here forever. They're not going anywhere. Mobile detailing is like a luxury. So if there's a recession or people not spending as much money, the mobile detail will probably drop down significantly. But people who can afford mobile detail don't really care about a recession. So it just depends. Good question though on the car wash. So you almost got to pick whichever one you want. If you want to get into the ones that you drive through, and those are expensive, but you still can find some. There's some mom and pop ones still along. Where can I find funding for small businesses with no capital? Well, congratulations, sir. Welcome in. That's my specialty. So a small business with no capital, you need a no doc loan. So that's one of my specialties. That's what my funding company does. So if you want to learn more about the process, like I said before, click the link above or click the link in the bio. Just go to my homepage, click the link. It'll say be your own boss. Sign up there, and I'll break down that process of how to do that. But you need to have proper structure to do that. And a lot of people will go to the banks and they'll ask for, I need a small business loan. Just like he or she just asked, they said, I need a small business loan. Small business loans require you to be in business 2 years, and you need the proper documents, and you need the proper income to get a business loan. But you can do what's called a no doc loan. No doc loans, you can get business funding or business lines of credit and business credit cards. And a lot of times, the way I try to teach people is you can do what's called a 0% interest. You can do no payment for 0% interest for like 2 years or something like that. And now it reduces the amount of interest you have to pay. And then you can take your business from a small business to a medium-sized business or a large business, which I don't like the term small business, right? You're never small, right? You just need more customers, right? But yeah, you just need more money coming in. But yeah, so come to the free class and Yeah, we can help you get loans. I help people all the time. I just helped a guy raise $80,000 like a month ago. 80 grand, one bank. We went to one bank. They gave him $80,000. No docs. No money out of pocket. We told him do this, do this, do this, do this. 1 week later, he had 80K. Now that 80K can, what could you do with an extra $80,000, right? A lot. So I want you to let you know that there are people out here that's doing this type of stuff. And for those who don't, who need some proof in the pudding, right? Lines of credit, people. Lines of credit. Stacks of them. I always show people this book, and they're like, yo, they got books for credit cards? Yeah. You'd be surprised how many people have credit. And this is not even what's in my wallet, nor what's in my safe. My safe has the Saturnian Black Platinum, which is unlimited spending. I have no budget on it. They literally say, it was crazy when they said, yo, you qualify for a Saturnian Black. And I was like, okay. It's like, yo, that's a big deal. And I'm like, okay, sure. All right. And then they like, yeah, when you going to be home? I was like, I don't know. Why? It's like, yeah, we got to bring the card to you. I was like, you got to bring the card to me. They're like, yes. Okay, I'll be here. And they said, we have availability the next day at like 2 p.m. I should have recorded it. It was so crazy. It said, we will bring you your card at 2 p.m. tomorrow. And I said, okay, that's fine. I got an email. They said, confirm that you're going to be home at 2 p.m. Sure. So I confirmed I was going to be here. Somebody showed up at my door. It was like 2:01. It was a guy. He was in a regular car. It's almost like he had somebody like paid him to do it. I don't know how that shit works. So he brought me the box. I had to sign for it. And then, or he told me to put it on the ground. He had to take a picture of it, and then I signed for it, and then I went into the house. Before I opened the box, so this had to be like 2:05, 2:06. I got an email stating, "Did you receive the box yet?" And I was like, "Wow, this is nuts. Did I receive the box yet?" Yes. Cool. Log on to this website. So I logged on to American Express, and they said, we need to verify that you received the card. I need all these different numbers. And then I opened up the box and I gave them the numbers, and I said, okay, cool, congratulations. And then they gave me like this spiel. They told me if I spent $100,000, I had to give them a 24-hour notification. If I spent over $500,000, I had to give them a 3-day notification. So if I wanted to buy a helicopter or some shit, I don't fucking know, I had to give them 3 days notification to verify that I am purchasing it. And then I had to go through like this verification process. It's nuts. You never heard of it? Yeah, that's for the ballers. So I took that card and I put it in my safe. But you probably couldn't use it if you wanted it. It was crazy. I've never even seen that before. I've only used it once just to make sure it worked. And I put it in the safe. That's almost too much power. So I can see how people will say, I put a yacht or a Lamborghini or a house on a credit card, because that's how they do it. You get a shit ton of points, I guess. But it's all good. But thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all. Let's see if we got some more questions. Y'all got some good questions today. Someone said, what app do you use to buy stock? What is the best app to buy stocks with? The best app to buy stocks with is almost asking what's the best. I missed your question. I didn't see it. I'll go back and check though. Ask it again. It didn't come through, sir or ma'am, on Instagram. Ask again. But what is the best stock? What is the best app? That's like asking somebody, what's the better app? What's better? Nintendo Switch, a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 6 or whatever the hell they got out now, or Xbox. I mean, it really depends on the user. I like to invest dummy friendly or non-user friendly. So when I invest, I want to like set it and forget it. So if the platform or whoever you want to go through offers um, automatic allocation or automatic investing, I'm with it, right? Dollar cost average. I want to be able to go in there and say, hey, I want to buy $50, $100, $200, $500 of Apple. I want to do it every month. I want to do it on the second, and I want to reinvest my dividend or reinvest my interest or reinvest. Set it, boom, go. Right. But there's multiple different platforms. There's tons of different platforms. You probably, there's tons of them. So the means of getting to what you want is irrelevant. Just do it. Almost like Nike, right? It's almost like, I don't care how you get to work. I don't care if you drive a Lambo or you take a bike or you walk. Just get to work. Right? A lot of people get caught up with the medium between their goals, right? The metric in which you use to get to your goal is irrelevant. Just get to your goals, Oh, I missed other people's questions. I didn't see any. I already asked. I answered. I just want to rock you all night long. Is the class on TikTok? No. Click the link in the bio. If you're on TikTok, click the link or click my profile. Go to my profile homepage, click the link, and then join. It's called Be Your Own Boss. And then click there and then go from there. Where do you do the class? It's online. Build a business you can franchise? I guess you can. You can build a business you can franchise, but that's a great question / statement, but I'm gonna put you on some game. Yes, I'm gonna try to give you a great example of something. I don't fucking know. Let's say if I wanted to start I'm trying to think of something that's not out. Let's say if there was a hot dog pizza shop. I don't know. And I wanted to make the #1 hot dog pizza place in America. And then I wanted to sell, call it Frank Zilla's or something. I don't know. Frank Eats Us. Frank Pizzas. I don't know. Frank Pizzas. Okay. I came up with Frank Pizzas. And I want to start this business and I want to make it a franchise, right? I have to not only start a business and build it out myself, then I gotta proof the concept. I gotta do the marketing, do all the research, and it might take me 5-10 years before I even get all that crap done. So I'm 10 years down the road. I started this from scratch, and then I'm finally getting some traction. Then I probably can do all that. I probably can start selling franchises to people, and then I got to go out and pretty much create my own job doing that. I mean, it sounds like a good play, and you probably can make a lot of money doing it. But if you just bought an existing business, take the profit from that, then buy another business in 2 years from there, and then take the profits from both of those and buy a third business in 5 years, then take the profit from all three of them and buy a third business in year 6, and then buy a fifth business in year 7 and 8. Now I'm making 300,000, 200, $1,000 a month. And then by year 10, I done stacked $5 million. I'm not trying to buy no franchise. I'm not trying to build no another business. I'm done. 10 million, 15 million. How much money you need? We're done. By the time you get everything set up, we're done. Shit, the game over. I'm retired. You know? Someone said my Kevin Hart business post brought me here. Well, hey man, it's crazy how Kevin Hart, I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, so for those who don't know, I did make a post about Kevin Hart. I need to quit talking about celebrities. Well, I might need to start talking about celebrities more, because it seems like every time I talk about celebrities doing dumb stuff with their money, it seems like I get a lot of traction. I'm gonna just be a person that call out celebrities, and I guess I'll be indirectly a celebrity, you know. That's what, in all honestly, that's what 50 Cent did. If you really truly think about it, 50 Cent just called out everybody in the rap game, and he became the #1 rapper doing it. Right? It's crazy how that works. I might just need to start calling out people on their money, because just because you're a celebrity or you're rich doesn't mean you make smart financial decisions. So Kevin Hart started a vegan, plant-based food chain. I don't know how many stores he had. I think he had like 8 different stores in California. But 2 years later, it crashed. He could have talked to me. He could have paid me $500 and talked to me for 5 minutes, and he'd have pitched his idea, and I'd have said, yo, bro, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. One, you don't have a proof of concept, meaning you don't even know if people want the shit. How the hell are you going to sell somebody something that they don't even want? And then also, you don't have, you're selling something that's not even sound pleasing. And then you probably got to overpay for it. So let me get this straight, Mr. Hart. You're pretty much selling somebody something that they don't want, that's more expensive than something I do want, from a place I've never heard of. It's not going to work. I mean, fuck. Hey, man, I got a vegan burger. Okay, I didn't want a vegan burger. When I go eat a burger, I don't want a vegan burger, right? I don't want no plant-based soybean burger. I just want the greasiest. I know why I'm here. You know why I'm here, right? I want to eat regret. I don't want to eat healthy sometimes. I want to eat a nasty burger that's bad for me. It give me heartburn and keep me up at night. And then, like, say if I go to McDonald's to get a #1 or Taco Bell and get, 3 tacos, say it's $6, $7. I go to this plant-based vegan place crap that I've never heard of, but I'm supposed to go there because Kevin Hart says it's good. And I'm paying $16 for a soybean burger that tastes like crap, and a green smoothie that tastes weird. It has a crappy aftertaste. I pay twice as much for half the flavor. Man, hell no. Why would anybody do that? And then for you to take a concept that don't even exist and do it. Like, I can understand that there was already a vegan place that's already making hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. That's been around for 10 years, right? You got a track record. You got systems. You got teams. You got employees. You got proof of concept. It's already working. Buy a system that already works. Don't build a system and hope that it works. You're not going to win. Hell, even the businesses that's been around for years sometimes don't even work. Dollar General damn near going out of business. Kmart damn near going out of business. What else? What other businesses nowadays are going out of business, right? There's tons of them that just ain't making it. They ain't making the cut. They closing the doors. Those ain't even working. So you think you're going to come up and just wave your little magic wand and hope that just because your name's behind it, that people want to get behind it? No, bro. That shit ain't it. It ain't it. So doing that, I know for sure ain't work. You might have, if it was a franchise or something, maybe, because at least franchise got some kind of buzz behind it. A proof of concept that don't work from a name that I never heard of just because I'm supposed to buy it because you Kevin Hart? I don't give a damn about that. I don't care about that. Someone said, what are my thoughts on Acorn? They okay. Like I said, the platform you use to invest is irrelevant. Just invest. Like someone saying, yo, man, what's the difference between you like Brooks? Do you like Nike? Do you like, what type of running shoes do you like to run in? Bro, just go run. You worry about the wrong thing. Go run. The ones you got on, they hurt your feet. Do some reviews, then go buy some new shoes. Right? Let's get some shit popping first. Let's get some stuff popping. Ain't buying the turnkey business risky? Hell, everything's risky. Buying Apple stock is risky, right? Everything has risk. There are just ways to minimize the risk. Now, if I put it like this, someone said, is buying a turnkey business risky? Okay. Let's say I bought a turnkey business that's a year old. Is that risky? Now, let's say I'm gonna keep using sub shops because it's easy. Let's say there's a sub shop that's a year old, turnkey, that's making you $100,000 a year. Now, there's another sub shop 5 miles up the street, and it's 30 years old, that's doing $100,000. Which one you think is less risky? They both got risk. Which one is less risky? The one that's 30 years old or the one that's a year old? Come on, people. Use your head for more than a hat rack. So things like that help you minimize risk. Okay? Of course it's 30. It was rhetorical too. You didn't have to answer. I know the answer. So 30 years of a business that's been around is less riskier than the one that has been open for a year. They're both risky. Which one is less riskier though? All investments has risk. Your job, kind of my job, is to teach you how to minimize the risk, how to buy assets where you don't lose a lot, or hell, don't lose at all. We all take L's though. Anybody that's been in this money game for a decent amount of time, all take L's. We all take losses. Hell, I just got one of my apartment units, somebody didn't call in a leak, and it leaked behind the shower enclosure, and it corroded and fell down. It is $3,500 fixed. We all take L's. Did I want to pay $3,500 to fix the flooring of an apartment complex, of a unit? No. It's just part of the game. We all take L's. How to minimize those risks is what I and you should learn, or what I teach. What's crazy about that is I must be a decent coach, or I must be a good mentor, because you just learned that getting an aged turnkey business is less riskier than getting one that's not aged. Hell, I can teach you 15 different lessons right now about what makes a business risky and what makes it not a risky business. I'll give you another one real quick. Let's say there's two businesses. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Nah, I don't feel like getting into the deeps of it. But good question, though. Someone says, how do you prioritize investments and business opportunities? Do you have equal importance. One is comfortability. Okay. One, always look at your comfort level. Should I think that you should buy a $5 million business as your first investment ever before you own stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, or even own your own home or own investment properties? Probably not. But start whatever you feel comfortable with. If you feel comfortable doing $50 a month in an ETF or a mutual fund or stocks or bonds or 401k or IRA or TSP, roll it. And then learn to get faith in investing. If you want to go out and buy your first property as an investment property and you still renting, roll it. If that's what you want to start with, whatever you feel comfortable with. You know, I can't tell you what to feel comfortable with, but I will tell you, me personally, I look at risk, income, and the potential of whatever I'm investing in as my metric. That's what I do. So, for example, let's say if, and I also look at upside too. Let's say if I have, I have an extra $50,000 this month to invest, and I come across, because you should always be looking for opportunity. Always. I look at 10 different businesses to buy a day. I look at probably 30 or 40 different properties to buy a day, every day, right? And let's say this month, boom, I got an extra $40,000, extra $50,000. Let me see what houses are available. And let's say the houses this month, the ones that are available, not the best. They're not in a good neighborhood. They don't have good rent rates. They don't have tenants already in them. They have a lot of work that needs to be done. And I'm just like, nah, I'm done. I'm good on real estate this month. And then I'll look at a business for sale and I say, oh, wow, this has, the owner's retiring. He or she wants to sell it. They'll do an owner financing deal. They'll take $50,000 down and it produces me $118,000 a year for, while owning this business. And I'll say, well, how much money does it produce? How many hours I got to work? Oh, I said, I work from home. I work 3 hours a day. I work 3 hours a week. Cool. I'll hop on that. I prioritize that because now that is more enticing. And then the next month, I do the same thing. So next month, it'll probably do, okay, cool. I got an extra $30,000 this month. I looked at houses. The houses are sucking. I look at a business opportunity. Nothing catches my eye. Okay, well, I'll just buy $30,000 worth of NVIDIA stock, or I'll buy $30,000 worth of Apple. I'll buy $30,000 worth of Facebook, or Google, or Alphabet, or Tesla. And then it just sits in there and it makes me money, right? But what I don't do is not do anything. You have to do something constantly. You have to do something. I don't sit back and say, well, I'll wait. I'll get more opportunity down the road. No. You make your decision today. You figure it out now. Let's do it now. If no one told you today, I love you. Oh. Don't be cornballish. Damn, man, y'all bumping, man. Where y'all come from? Jeez, let me get y'all some shout outs. Crap. Twitter is bumping. YouTube is bumping. Twitch, where y'all come from? Y'all go ahead and let me know where y'all coming in from. Where y'all checking in from? Instagram bumping? Where y'all coming in from? Like, where y'all, like, what state y'all? Y'all don't got to say the city. Y'all can just say the state, though, if y'all want to. I appreciate y'all being in here. Get my damn views up. Someone say, how do you have time to run so many different businesses if you also run an education business? When I can. Dallas in the house, I see you. solar roof cleaner. I don't know what that is. Appreciate it though. Philly in the house. Philly is a good place for real estate and businesses. I think lived in, if I had, if I had to move anywhere to start investing, if someone said, "Hey, Mr. Rich, I'm gonna start you from scratch, $0, and you can move. I'll move you anywhere in the world, but you got to make it work in like 6 months." I personally think Philadelphia would be. It would be on the short list. Philadelphia, you can work miracles. The housing is cheap. A lot of mom and pop businesses, a lot of tight knit community. I hate the weather, but you can get access to capital. You're close to multiple major cities, multiple major states, and even if you want to do, even if you didn't want to do business in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you can go to New Jersey, you can go to New York, you can go to Virginia. I mean, you got opportunities all around you, man. Philly's a sleeper, man. Right? It's a sleeper. The cost of living is kind of cheap. Housing, you can get a house for 60, 70 grand. That's damn near turnkey. Philly, Pittsburgh would be on the short list too. I would literally go to Pittsburgh and have probably 50 properties in 6 months. Easily. No money. Zero in my pocket. Give me a $500 gift card and a pickup truck, and I will have 100 properties in Pittsburgh in 6 months. Easily. Pennsylvania is a sleeper. That's just my personal opinion. Illinois in the house. Illinois is good too. Some parts of Chicago, some parts of North Illinois. That Naperville area is kind of rough, but it's kind of expensive out there. But you can find some good deals in Philadelphia and Illinois too. Texas is good. One thing about Texas I like is Texas is a owner. It's a owner finance first friendly state, meaning that in Texas, if you have a homestead in Texas and you live in Texas, you can owner finance negotiate with properties on market. It's one of the only states you can do that with. So if you're looking on the MLS and you see a property, you can write a contract to the owner through a real estate agent for owner financing in Texas. Meaning you can make thousands of offers in Texas for owner financing. Let's say if I went out and I go to Zillow and I put in properties under 150,000, and I say, hey, every property for $150,000. I email the agent. I say, yo, I want to put $10,000 down, and I'll pay you $700 a month until this property's paid off. Let's say if you send out that email 500 times, someone will write you back. That's how I would start my real estate journey in Texas. Business game out there is bumping too. And you can get real estate out there cheap. Cheap. Right? Especially the house you live in. You can get a damn near a mansion in Texas for fucking $600,000. $700,000 in Florida ain't gonna get you a damn trailer home, man. But hey, what do I know? I wanna rock it. I just wanna rock you. Do I think cash will go away? No. Probably not. And if it do, it won't be in my lifetime or your lifetime. I sat back and thought about this for a while. Yeah, I don't think cash will ever go away. And if it do, it'll phase out over years. Only reason they have cash is to it would have to be something that's worldwide accepted. So that's one thing about it. One thing about the system, that there's no way I can give you money without, there's no universal metric of conversion of a good or a service or a product from a person to another that's nationwide accepted, but cash, right? Like, so if I say right now, hey, I got $100 for the first person to give me their cash app, you know what someone to say? I don't have cash app. What about someone, first person to give me their Zales? I give you $100. Someone say, I ain't got Zales. You see where I'm going with this? There's no universal payment method that's accepted. So if there's no universal payment method, until they have one, then cash ain't going nowhere, because cash is the universal metric of payment, right? I've been places where they don't even take cards and they only take cash. I mean, some things are more accepted than card than anything else. You know what I mean? If someone went up to you and tried to rob you, they're not gonna say, "Give me your debit card." They're gonna say, "Give me your cash." It's just the way it is, you know, because it's worldwide accepted. What's happening, brother? I came to the realization that I want to adopt this man. uh, you can adopt me. I'm expensive though. I like to eat out. I'm bougie. But most businesses for sale are failing. You have to rebuild them anyways. Most businesses are failing. Man, you don't get out of here with that crap. There are mom and pop businesses that's been around for 20, 30, 40 years. You ever been into a place and it's like an old person working there? They got a cash register, be like, chugoo, 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 chugoo. They don't have a website. They don't have no POS system, point of sale system. You don't find them on Google. It's all word of mouth. You telling me those places are failing? They've been in business for 40 years, 30 years, 20 years. Those places aren't going nowhere. Hell, if anything, you can make them better. You don't have to rebuild. You can just build on them. You can add modern cash register system. You can add debit cards systems, a point of sale system. You can add them to Google to make them recognizable on Google. You can add websites. You can take online orders. That's not a rebuild. That's a value add, my brother. That's a value add, my brother. Would Chick-fil-A be a good franchise to own? Well, first of all, you don't own shit. You're just a glorified manager of Chick-fil-A. So this is what they do. Chick-fil-A you put down $5,000, and then they'll interview you, and then you got to meet their Christian values and shit like that. And what they'll do is they'll go to like Wyoming or something like that, and they'll build a Chick-fil-A. And they'll say, okay, we have 20 Chick-fil-A's available this year. Everybody in this room, all 20 of y'all qualify, you can be the manager of our store, right? And we do what's called a profit share. Whatever the store brings in, you get a cut. So like say if the store brings in $1 million, you get 20% of sales or some shit like that. So you make $200,000. You're buying into the business, but they own the store. They own the location. They put up all the money. You're just managing their process. And then if you was to pass away or to die, you can't give that shit to your kids. It goes and they sell it to someone else. They give it to someone else to manage. And then what's crazy about that too is that you can't own anything else while doing it. So let's say you're bringing in $200,000, $300,000 a year, and you want to go out and open up another restaurant, or you want to go out and start a roofing company. You want to go out there and buy a franchise lawn care business? Wrong. Not under Chick-fil-A's umbrella. Your whole livelihood revolves around Chick-fil-A. If you want to do something outside of Chick-fil-A, you go do it by yourself. They're going to fire your ass. And they'll bring someone else into the system. But some people will be content making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, and be a slave to that system. You're in there working open to close every day, 6 days a week. But that ain't the game, people. Remember, the game is time. You want to buy your time back. If you're making $300,000 a year, but you're working 16 hours of shifts, what's the point? I would rather make $100,000 owning my own business that I work 3 hours a week than making $300,000 working 16-hour days. Right, people? Time is the game. Understand that, and that should be your goal. And Chick-fil-A, you don't own shit. You're a slave to that business. You can't do shit else, and you're just making a wage. You're just a glorified supervisor. So, to Chick-fil-A, no, thank you. What could I do if I had $100 to start the day making money? $100. Free cycling. Free cycling is free, people. Free cycling. I would start free cycling. Free cycling is go to Facebook Marketplace, search a square radius in your area of 20 miles. Search the word free. Anything that you feel like you can sell to somebody else, go get it. Go pick it up. Go clean it up. Take better pictures. Put it right back on Facebook for $100 plus a $50 fee to deliver. Now, a lot of people are like, man, that shit don't work. Bullshit. I did an experiment with my community. I made $800 in 2 days. $800 2 days. I got a 75-inch 3D TV, a washer and dryer. What else did I get? Not a treadmill. And it was one other thing. I don't remember. Washer and dryer, I got for free. I sold that for $200 plus $50 shipping. I sold the TV for $300. Actually, I put $400 on there. We agreed on, I did $400 plus $50 delivery. They agreed on $300 plus delivery. But $300 free dollars for a TV that I possessed for a day that I got for somebody for free? Come on, dog. I don't remember the other the treadmill. I think I got like $100 plus $20 delivery or something. I don't remember. I made about $800 in 3 days. I started it on a Friday. I was done by Sunday afternoon. Technically, it wasn't even 3 days, right? I started Friday night at like 11 p.m. Sunday, I had $800 in my pocket, and I went out to dinner with the fam and spent $800 on the meal, just to prove a point, to show you that this can be done. You know? Someone said, what are your thoughts? What do you think about gas stations? All right. Somebody in the chat, I see you. Yeah, gas stations. If you really pay attention to gas stations, the majority of gas stations that make money are by the highways. If you look at a gas station that's not near a highway, if it's 2 miles from within a highway, they generally don't do good, because the majority of people pay at the pumps now. So you go get your gas at the pumps and then you leave. All right. The markup on gas is like 5 cents. So let's think about it. Say your car fills up 30 gallons or 20 gallons. You get a 5-cent profit for every gallon of gas you sell. That's $1 of profit. You know how many gallons of gas you have to sell to make profit? The margins are made on gas in the concessions or inside. Why you think a Slurpee is 99 cents? Because it's a 3-cent cup and 8 cents a product. They probably pay 11 cents for that. 11 cents. They sell it to you for $1. They make 90 cents off a drink. They made just as much money off a drink than you did off 20 gallons of gas. That 20 gallons of gas, if it's $3 a gallon, that's $60. Off $60, they make $1. But off a 99-cent drink, they make 90 cents. So I want you to think about it like that. So gas stations, like think about like Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's don't make shit on their gas. Buc-ee's makes money from you going in there and buying $8 brisket. Buc-ee's makes money off of you buying their t-shirts. Buc-ee's make money. You go to their fountain machines and they're selling their fountain drinks for the big gulp for $1.50. Shit, they spent 10 cents on that cup and 5 cents on the drink. So they make $1.50, 15 cents in cost. They make $1.30. That t-shirt cost them $3 to make. They sell it for $15.99. They up $14 from a t-shirt and a drink. But you buy $20 worth of gas, they only make $1. The money is in the concessions and in cigarettes and in lottery tickets and donuts. That's where they make their money at. So yeah, the gas just pays for the overhead. The gas just pays for itself. The gas pays to run everything. You want to start making profit? Start selling shit in your shop. That's why you ever go to a gas station and they'll have t-shirt. You ever went to a gas station? It's almost like they sell more shit than just gas. They sell food. They sell liquor. They sell t-shirts. I've seen a gas station that selling Xboxes. I've seen a gas station that sell, yellow jackets, contraceptives, just all kinds of shit because they make their money off of not gas. You ever went to a gas station that didn't even sell gas? It was like a convenience store. They had the pumps, and then they ripped the pumps down, and now they just sell like a little corner store because the money is in the services or in the products, not in the not in the gas. But we learning here. We learning, people. We're learning. Texas in the house, South Carolina in the house. I made a small fortune in South Carolina. A small fortune. Someone said I want to do a roller skate. If I would do a roller sink, I can't even talk. Roller skink, I can't even talk. A roller rink, I would do an existing one, and I want clientele that's been there for years, and I would cater to adults. I wouldn't want kids coming there and tear my shit up and shoot my place up. I want to, I had to have like skate jams and shit, and it'd be like 500 people on the floor. That's what I want, right? I ain't trying to cater to no kids. They don't even skate. They're just sitting around and want to fight and be cool. I'm good, right? Same thing with bowling alleys. If I was to buy a bowling alley, I wouldn't want to cater to people on dates. I want like a Mac Daddy league. I want a year-round league that has 1,000 fucking members, and they do a different league event every quarter, and that will pay for everything and some. And then people who just come in there randomly to do like random date night and stuff like that and family night, that's just an afterthought. That's just extra money. That's what I would do. Or I would do something like a main event or like a Dave and Buster's that's like bowling alley on top of arcade, on top of food, and that type of shit like that. That's how I would do it if I was to do some of that type of stuff. But I'm spitting facts. But you know what else I'm spitting? I'm spitting to be out of here, right? But I'm glad a lot of people are here. Damn, we're bumping. God dang. Appreciate y'all everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Someone said laundromats. Could I do that? Sir, I can do that with any business. Laundromats, car washes, roofing companies. I can do it. That's what I do. That's why we're here to learn. I can break down any business that you want me to, and I give you my opinion on it, right? But my opinion ain't everything. But a lot of people like insight on this type of stuff. If you like insight, if you like this type of stuff, if you want to learn more about this, you want to learn more about investing, you want to learn more about credit, building credit, business funding, you want to learn more about buying businesses, FTT businesses, franchises, you want to learn more about investing, stock market, mutual fund, ETFs, 401k, IRAs. Whoa! Thank you. If you want to learn that type of stuff, come to the free webinar. It is Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. And learn more about all these processes. Go to the link, sign up, and I'll come on there and then we can talk about all this different stuff. You want to learn more about these processes? I'm being there and we can break some of this stuff down. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And if I don't, just at least make sure you're following on the platform that you're on. And at least follow me on YouTube. That's the only platform that pays me to be here. So I really appreciate it for those who checking me out on YouTube. But someone said, what can I do with 10 grand? Man, that's easy stuff. Light work. But come to the free class. Link in the bio. Sign up. I'll see y'all there. Zane.